Hey, good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hopefully, you are enjoying a great afternoon of college football. Hopefully, your favorite team is winning, unless you are a Michigan fan or a Boise State fan, in which case, I hope that your team loses, especially Michigan. Good to see you, bro. Ready to talk week 5?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's jump into it. Before we talk about week 5, or actually, before we talk about the games that are about to happen in week 5, let's talk about the game that kicked off week 5. Obviously, our 49ers with a hard-fought victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Um, I think the game was a roller coaster for both teams and their fan bases. It looked like the 49ers, if you don't know the 49ers and Rams rivalry, it looked like the 49ers were going to run away with the game. But knowing the 49ers and Rams rivalry as 49ers fans, I think we both knew that was not how the game was going to go. So I'll go ahead and stop there. I'll turn it over to you. What are some of the things that you liked about the game? What are some of the things that you're taking away from the game? And just give me your recap.
Well, I it's the kind of game I expected. Um, I wouldn't say that I expected the Rams to win because obviously Niners fans don't do that. But I think that it was a little surprising to see the fashion in which, we came out, we got up early. It was 17-0, right?
14.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
14
14
nothing.
nothing, two touchdowns, then they scored, and then we got our field
Yeah.
goal.
Yep.
Um, but still, I don't think anyone expected the 49ers to go up 14 nothing, and start the
No.
way they did. So I was really impressed with the hot start by the Niners. They did get CMC going early. I mean, early and often, which we talked about it on Wednesday,
Yep.
that was kind of going to be the way it had to go, and guys were going to step up. You mentioned that you would like to see guys hanging onto the ball, and they made just about every catch. Bourne had one crucial drop,
Yep.
but otherwise, an amazing game. 10 catches, over 140 yards. I mean, just a
Yeah.
stellar game. The defense came through. The young guys came through when it mattered the most, and they had the Rams on their heels the whole night. And that veteran, healthy team, they blew an opportunity. In a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're looking at it from a Rams perspective, they definitely blew an opportunity. Um, especially well, a couple of times. Number one, when they were down by the goal line, and one of those young guys that you mentioned, Alfred Collins,
Alfred
peanut
Collins,
punched the
yep,
ball out um, against Kyron Williams. Obviously, crucial play because LA was going to go up, take the lead, right?
yep,
Late in the game. So that was a big play. Uh, Equally as important was the fourth down call. I'm gonna say that I agree with them going for it on fourth down because they were moving the ball. I don't think that the play call was probably the best play call. And obviously the 49ers sniffed it out right away and were able to stop him short. So I think if Sean McVay could do it again, he would still go for it. I think he'd probably just call a different play and put the ball in Matt Stafford's hands. Matt Stafford was
right.
was he was carving the 49ers defense up. Let's just call it what it
He
is.
really was.
When the big plays that the 49ers made were on running plays that the Rams did. The peanut punch out, the fumble recovery to stop the touchdown, and then the stop at the end. They were both on running
Right.
plays. In the passing game, the both teams really had their way with the other team. Neither team gained 80 yards rushing, which is surprising. But obviously both were over 300 and something passing yards. So, obviously back and forth game, ball flying all over the place. I agree with you. A couple other young guys stepped up. Michael Williams again flashed a couple of times on the screen. Upton Stout was in there a couple of times. I know he had to go out towards the end of the game, but he made a few flash plays as well. I agree with you. I think the game also it played out kind of exactly how we said it had to play out. Although CMC didn't have a huge game on the ground, they started out feeding him the rock. They had a few big runs that kind of opened up LA's defense, and then they hit
More than three
Tonjas.
yards.
They hit Tonjas on the touchdown, right? Because the defense was focused on CMC on that first
Right.
touchdown, and then CMC obviously got the second touchdown where he caught it and went in. So. I would still love to see them get a rushing touchdown, or a few more. That'd be great. Um, you know, but at the same time, a win's a win, and especially in the division, on the road, on a short week with your backups. I love that you called out Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 142 yards, both career highs. That was on 11 targets. He did have the one drop, but 10 out of 11 after last week having a rough week and dropping three passes, that obviously played a big part in the game against Jacksonville. So, uh, overall, Mac Jones, you got you can't sing his praises enough.
Bro.
I mean, I think that as we were texting throughout the game and watching the game, I think we both we were like, man, this dude, like, it looked like he was down and out and done a few times in that game. And every time he eventually popped back up, had a great game, 33 of 49, 342, two TDs, zero picks. Um, Spread the ball
Very
around,
impressed.
threw the ball, targeted eight different guys, seven different guys had a
Wow.
catch. So
Nice.
like spread the ball all around, which is nice. Obviously, the connection with Kendrick Bourne is obvious because they played together in New England for a few years. So,
Mhm.
luckily, Kendrick Bourne had a phenomenal game. Also, Puka on the other side had a good game. 10
He
catches,
did.
85 yards and a TD. So I was surprised. I felt like when I watched the Rams that Devontae Adams and Matt Stafford prior to this game, I felt like they had more chemistry than what they
Yeah.
actually have. Like you could tell
Yeah,
that
they
they're
seem to be
just
a little
not
off.
clicking. Yeah. So, that was definitely surprising. What I will say, also taken away from that game, is there, as much as everybody wants there to be, because it's good for the media and it's good for clicks and it's good for all likes and all that good stuff. There is no quarterback controversy in San Francisco right now. Now,
Yeah.
if Brock Purdy misses three, four more games and Mac Jones keeps winning, then obviously we're talking about a different story because then you got to roll with the guy that's hot, in my opinion. You can't just bring Brock in off basically off the street almost essentially and expect him to keep the offense going. So possibly down the road for the rest of this season, there may be a controversy, but I don't see there any controversy based off the fact that you just paid Brock Purdy $53 million a year. Um, I, if more than anything, I think what they're hoping for is Matt continues to play well, builds that trade value because they have him for 2 years. So they could trade him either before this trade deadline, which I doubt, or in the off season,
Right.
which is more likely. So, um, one last little tidbit I'm going to give you. It's a long shot because we still got Philly out there, still got Tampa, still some one-loss teams, some two-loss teams that are really good, right? Right now, the 49ers are the number two seed. Obviously, very possible if things bounce and fall right, they could end up with the number one seed. Long shot, but they could. If
Yeah.
if they're able to do that, they would not have to leave Levi Stadium after week 16.
Ooh.
Yep. Like literally every game, including the Super Bowl, would be at home. So,
Hey,
hopefully that
man.
happens. That would be nice.
Crazy things happen in the NFL.
It sure does. And then, some good news also is, well, potential good news. Kittle, is a long shot for week 6. They said more likely though week 7 he should be back for sure, which is definitely good news. The cavalry is on the way.
I can't wait.
Yep, exactly.
It's gonna be nice.
Um, and then the only other thing is we got to get a pass rusher. You got to make a move for a
Yeah.
pass rusher. I think we talked about it yesterday when we connected a little bit. When they did get pressure, it was because they were doing exactly what we said. You got to get exotic. You got to bring DBs. You got to bring linebackers. You got to surprise them. The problem was it was leaving our guys in man to man, which is pretty tough when you think about some of the teams that we're going to have to play in the playoffs, like the team we're
Right.
going to play in week 6, Tampa Bay, Philly when they get going, LA again, Seattle with JSN, who is the number 2 receiver in the league right now. So, definitely got to get that cleared up. Otherwise, it's going to be, real quick exit if you can't get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, we definitely need to. I did. We talked about it in the last pod as well that They just need to get some outside blitzing, some corner blitz, maybe another linebacker blitz in. Can't just rush four,
Yeah.
and we saw it. Their first sack of the game, corner came in, but created some confusion with the offensive line, and Huff got the sack.
Yep. Yeah. So I think though, again, right now, I mean, obviously that worked, it helped out, but I think that we really got to get a guy that we can depend on, that at times when we need to rush four only, we could do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, like
we'll see.
Hendrickson maybe.
What would it take to get him though, is the question,
Gonna be
right?
a bit,
Yeah.
you know.
Cincinnati's right now.
It just,
I think Cincinnati's in the market for a quarterback. I think they're trying to tank. I think that Joe Burrow's played his last down in Cincinnati. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, and we'll talk about that at a later time. But I definitely think that number one, I think Joe Burrow should want to leave Cincinnati. And then I think number two, Cincinnati at this point, knowing how bad their defense is and knowing that Joe Burrow's not going to be able to make up for it, they should look at resetting their quarterback salary and starting over for the most part, in my opinion. But again, sorry about that left turn. We'll get back on to week 5 now. So, all right. So let's talk about a couple of big games. I know earlier when I texted you about what we were going to go over, one of those topics was upset alert and who should be on upset alert. So I'm going to move that topic ahead of the game previews that we were going to do, simply because actually, you know what? I apologize. I apologize. I'm skipping an entire topic. Uh, Mr. Fantasy Guru. That's where we're gonna go.
all right.
Mr. Fantasy Guru. Let's go there next. Give me a couple of fantasy boomers that folks should be, if you're playing daily fantasy or if you have this guy on your roster, who should we be excited about their matchup tomorrow? Give me a couple of guys.
Give me some Cam Scatabo against a suspect New Orleans Saints defense. And
Okay.
then you could also go with Jalen Hyatt, whom he hasn't even had a target this year. So it wouldn't be hard to boom, right? But I say that because he's the guy that just a few years ago they took early in the draft. I believe it was an early second round pick. They were expecting big things out of him. He led the nation in touchdown catches. He's fast as can be. Neighbors is done for the year, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So I've looked for Jalen Hyatt. He missed the
Okay.
first two games. I don't think he played. The last two games, though, he didn't even get a target, but he was on the field.
Okay.
So I think just the opportunity, two guys right there on the Giants going against a bad defense. I mean, the
Okay.
defense is bad, you know. So those are my two
Can't
fantasy potential boomers that I'm going to
can't
throw
ar
out there.
I can't argue with the defense they're going against being bad. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I like it. I like Scatabo. Obviously, I think Tracy, they announced he's going to be out. So Scatabo is basically the running game. I liked him at ASU. I thought he was going to be a good player coming in when he got drafted. And I
yeah.
think he's proven so far that he's one of those guys that you just give him the rock, he's going to find a way to get yards. He's going to find a way to move the chains. And when he gets close enough, he's going to find a way to get in the end zone. So I like it. I
He's a
like it.
wrecking ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And his teammates think that he's crazy, which is funny. So,
Hey,
all right.
gotta have
Yeah.
that adrenaline, and
Hey,
it translates into
he,
the game, and
he
people
brings
feed
the
off that
energy.
energy. Yep. Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
Um,
Give us some
Buster.
busters.
Yeah, a Buster. Um, so oh my gosh, I just had it a moment ago on the tip of my tongue. Let me pull it back up. The running back for the Raiders. Why am I Genty? I believe
Ashton
that,
Genty. I'm sorry.
yeah. And the reason I believe that is because it was announced earlier that it is more likely than not that Brock Bowers is going to miss the game with the injury. And that's just going to allow the defense to really key in on Genty, who
Yeah.
is their best player outside of Brock Bowers. I can't think of anyone better on the offense.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think just the fact that he will be a focal point of the opposing defense, that he had a
Okay.
great game last week, but
He
you
did.
know,
Yeah,
that
I will
comes with
agree.
now
Yep.
more eyes on you, defense is focusing on you more,
Yep.
and then you combine that with Brock Bowers out potentially. They did say it was more likely, so it hasn't been official, but
Yeah.
you know how that goes. If they say it's more likely than not, he's probably
He's
not
probably
playing.
gonna miss. Yeah.
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 I don't think we have to wait till the
All
injury
right.
report comes out hour and a half before the game. Um and Darren Waller. I know he had a
Waller.
phenomenal game,
Okay.
first game back, high energy, you know, but listen, pump the brakes, skirt, pump the brakes, and let's chill. I just
Yeah.
don't believe in Tua much still. He, there's guys like Tua, Kyler, like all these little quarterbacks, I would call them,
Yeah.
they just haven't proven much in the league. And so
Yep.
that's what I'll say. They're not going against a
Okay.
great team or anything. They're playing Carolina, but I just I
Well,
don't
I
see
mean,
it. I think it was a flash in the pan.
we also got to add in the fact now that the
Going to
other
be a
team's not
primary
going to be
focus.
the other team's not going to be game planning for Tyreek, right?
Exactly.
The cheat is out, so now you got Waddle. Yeah, I was thinking, sell high on Waller if anybody had him on their team, and you could find somebody
Yeah.
willing to make a trade for a position of need on your part. I would definitely do it if I were them. He had a great game, don't get me wrong, and he's shown before that he can consistently be a baller, but I agree with you. I think the bigger issue is the guy that's throwing him the ball, and whether he could stay upright. And that's the bigger
Exactly.
issue. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that again, I think that's a good pick as well. I would not be surprised if folks are disappointed if they went out and picked up Darren Waller this week and then he does not deliver the same way that he did against the Jets the other night. So,
Correct.
all right. I like it. I like it. All right. So I'm going to combine these two, is what I was about to say earlier. I'm going to combine the previews that we're going to do with upset alert. So I'm going to kind of move upset alert ahead because the two games that we're going to preview, I'm going to say that the favorites should be on upset alert. But before we get to those games, are there any other games that you could think of besides these two that we talked about that should be the favorites should be on upset alert in week 5?
Well, to be honest, I don't know who's the favorite in this game. I'm gonna guess. Well, actually, Lamar's out,
Lamar is
so
out. Houston is the
scratch
favorite.
that.
Yeah.
Scratch that. I'm gonna go Denver over Philly.
Okay. I like it.
Give me some crazy Bo Nix action in Philadelphia. Just they shock the world
Okay.
and they beat Philly. Just a crazy NFL story of some sort. I
All
think
right.
that's a good game for an upset. I mean, Denver's not a
Okay.
bad team. They're a team on the rise. They're getting better. Bo Nix is a decent quarterback. Um,
Yeah.
and Philly, listen, man, there's rumblings in Philly, man. There was a report earlier that came out said that both wide receivers are unhappy with their role in the offense. That AJ Brown has done it more publicly, while Devonta Smith has actually kept it more private. And you know, I just listen, it
Okay.
could be like one of those things where a story like that comes out, then the locker room rallies together, and they go ball out. Everyone gets a piece of the pie, and everyone's happy. I don't see that happening. The Eagles haven't really shown that they're going to be able to make it work with those superstars as far as like spreading the ball out and getting them all involved, at least not with this particular set of coordinators.
Yeah.
Because last year, I mean, that's all they did, get the ball everywhere,
Yeah.
to all their guys. So
Yeah.
that would be a
Okay.
game where I feel like because of the locker room right now, potentially that aura in the air and stuff like that, Denver, up and coming team, that could be a good upset alert.
Okay. All right. Well, that's one of the ones we were going to preview, so I like it. You took us right into it.
Oh
Denver
shit.
versus. No, you're good. You're good. Because there's not a lot. I was
I
looking
have it
at it.
right here.
I was looking at it. There's really, if you look at it, there's not a lot where I'd be like, oh, I'm shocked that that team beat the other team. But unless you're talking about New England beating Buffalo, which is very possible because it's a division game. But I think Buffalo's just playing the best football right now, and they're going to win the game, even if it's a close one. But let's get back to Denver and Philly. I agree with you. I think that Philly does not look right. That's obvious. Their offense is not clicking. They're number 30 in overall offense as far as yards gained out of 32 teams. They're 31st in passing, 15th in rushing. And that's with Saquon having only 200. I looked this up. Saquon has a total of 307 scrimmage yards for the year. That's not rushing
Wow.
yards. That's total yards. And he has, we've been talking about it all year. He has zero plays still of 20 yards or more. So that's the biggest thing that their offense is missing is Saquon is not getting those big plays, which is opening up everything else for the rest of the team, right?
Right.
I can imagine why their receivers are not happy. Their top two receivers are ranked number 68 and number 69 in the NFL.
Wow.
Neither one of them have 160 yards for the season. They played
Through
four
4 games.
games. They're not
Wow.
averaging 40 yards a game.
That's
They
just
both have one
that's
touchdown.
crazy.
So
For guys of that talent, that is just
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, right.
They better fire
Uh,
their coordinator. I don't think that's that's not a player issue. That's a coordinator issue and a game planning
it's a
issue.
coaching, yeah, that's a coaching thing, right? You're not getting the ball to your playmakers. Now, we say that and they're still 4-0. But here's what I'll remind everybody of. It was a couple years ago where they started out 10-1, right? Not last year, but the year before. They were 10-1. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's okay. They're winning. They're winning." And they were kind of doing the same thing they're doing now. And then the bottom fell out and they absolutely
It's different.
collapsed. This is different this year, is what I feel. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you. I think Denver gets the win on the road. Denver's offense, although no one really jumps off the page, they're number 7 in offense, number 5 in rushing, which is going to be their strength, I think, in this game. I think they lean on the running game, control the clock, and I think they're going to win a close one. I'm going to go with 23-21 Denver on the road. Denver's defense keeps Philly in check. And here's what I'll say that keeps it close, though, because Philly's been good for this the last couple of games. I think Philly's defense could possibly get a score, pick six, scoop and score, something like that to keep the game close. But I think Denver wins in the end. What I think.
Yeah, I think so. Here's a random one that's not on our list. Jacksonville over Kansas City
I
because
would not
their
be surprised.
defense
Yeah.
is really good and they're at home.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by that one either.
So, yeah, I'll just throw that out there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Kansas City wins that game, but I would not be
Yeah.
shocked if Jacksonville wins. I think Kansas City just they had the perfect recipe for a get right game last week, and they got right.
Yeah. No, they did, but they should be on upset alert because they
They
don't want to
should.
let
Oh
that win
yeah.
last week against a very bad defense go to
Yep.
their head because this
Exactly.
week they're playing a much, much better
Much better
defense.
defense. I agree. Sorry, I had to take a drink, but I can't have my drink on camera. I don't want to influence anyone. By the way, Notre Dame just scored another touchdown. It is
Woo!
now 21-7 with 5:49 left in the third quarter.
Wow.
All right, let's jump
Before we
over.
talk about our
Go ahead.
next game, we
Yep,
did
go
get
for it.
some breaking news that I got on Sleeper. We
Okay.
got breaking news earlier today that Matt Sanchez was stabbed,
Yeah,
unfortunately. We hope he's okay.
yeah,
But they
that's
just broke
insane.
news a few moments ago that he was arrested in the hospital for battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. I was actually going to text the group chat and as joking, I was gonna say, man, Mark Sanchez got drunk, was started talking shit to somebody and got fucked up.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I was, and I deleted it. I was like, I don't want to do that. But sounds
I don't
like
want to
maybe that's what
speculate, but seems like that might be what happened.
sounds like it. Maybe. Either way, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully he
hopefully he's
recovers,
okay.
and if he did break the law, well then you unfortunately will have to suffer the consequences of that.
Yeah,
Whatever that may be. So, but yeah, as far as his health goes, hopefully he is okay. Wow.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump back to football now. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. Another big game in the NFC. Both teams 3-1. Seattle trying to keep pace with the 49ers, and Tampa Bay trying to continue to build their lead on the NFC South and keep pace with the 49ers and the Eagles. So, before I give any thoughts on this one, I'll turn it over to you. What are you looking for? What are you expecting this one? What are some of the guys you'll be keeping an eye on?
I'd like to see how Godwin is in his second game back. That would be, if he can get back to like his old self, you combine that with Egbuka, those guys are that's a legit core. I mean, then you got Evans coming back in a bit. I mean, shoot, those guys would
Yeah,
be good. But with regards to this game, Godwin, I'd like to see how he responds in his second game back. Um, Baker Mayfield, how does he respond after? Um, I mean, I was just say he lost them the game, but it was just a bad decision. So how does he respond after he knows he
yeah,
made a bad decision,
yeah,
um, and potentially made the play that cost his team the game, right?
yeah. I mean, again, we always say you can't lose it on one play, but we can say what it is. That was the most impactful play of the game.
Exactly.
It was.
It
So,
definitely was. So I'd like to see how he responds. Then on the Seattle side of the ball, it's just how I got to see their run game get going because Tampa's run defense is pretty good. So if they can establish a run game, then it'll open up things for their passing
yeah,
offense, just like any other teams. Um, and whose defense is going to show up in this game? I know Seattle's at home,
yeah.
so they have a little bit of an advantage there. They're 12th man, but this game I think is going to come down to the defenses. Which defense can make a play, maybe force a turnover, maybe score,
Okay.
and that might be what wins the game.
Yeah. Okay. I think that it's going to have to come down to a defense, one of the defense, whichever one can make a play, obviously create a turnover, I think is going to be the team that wins, or a crucial sack, something of that nature. I agree that Seattle is going to have to lean on their run game a little more. They're actually bottom half of the league in rushing, which is unusual for a Seattle team now that Russell Wilson's been gone for a little while. Number 13 in passing, so kind of middle of the pack in offense, period, right? They're going against the number 3 defense in the league. Uh, and Tampa's number 5 against the run. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. What I expect to see is actually I expect to see both teams try to air it out a little bit more than what most people think. JSN, I think we mentioned it earlier, having a phenomenal year. He's number 2 in the league in receiving right now. He's got 402 yards total. He's only got one touchdown, but he has 8 big plays, 8 plays over 20 yards. So they're
Yeah,
throwing it down the
35%
field.
target
Yeah.
share.
They're throwing the ball down the field. He's moving the ball, getting big chunks. So eventually he'll probably get in
Right.
the end zone. And then you mentioned it, Egbuka, doing a great job of just kind of leading the Buccaneers receiver core while Evans is out because of his injury last week, and Godwin is just now coming back from his injury.
Right.
He's at 282 yards, so not quite as many yards, but he's got 4 TDs. In crucial moments, he's come up with big plays. He's got 5 catches over 20 yards. So I expect both teams to continue to try and do exactly what the stats tell me is they try to move the ball through the air down the field. I think the advantage is Tampa Bay's is pass rush is going to be able to get some pressure on Sam Darnold. and that's going to be the difference. I do think Godwin has a better game. He looks more like himself. I'm going to go out and
Right.
say that Godwin and Egbuka both have big games against this Seattle defense on the road in front of the 12s. And I'm going to
Yeah.
take Tampa Bay on the road. So another road dog, as a matter of fact. Seattle is favored. So
Three and a
another
half.
upset. I'm going to take Tampa Bay in the closest of close games, 24-23.
Ooh, I like that. 1 point
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think we get a thriller between those two teams. So,
Well, those Ohio State receivers, man, they know how to put on a
yeah.
show. Both of
Yep.
those guys are from Ohio State. They played with each other. They were on the same
Yeah.
team, so it'll be interesting.
There's only one school right now that I can think of that puts out better receivers in this current environment, and that is
That's
the
LSU.
LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
No, that may
That's
change
it.
now that Brian Kelly's there, but before he got there, yeah. Oh yeah. All right. All right. So that's all I got for previews. Let's jump over to the 6 for 6. All right. So once again, last week I missed the darn thing by one leg. Jordan Mason, you were right there, bro. You were right there to cash it for us and send us home with a victory. We didn't win though. So we're back for more punishment this week. This week's 6 for 6. Okay. I got, it's going to surprise you. I got Nick Chubb scoring a touchdown against those Baltimore Ravens. I got Brees Hall scoring a touchdown for the Jets. I got Alvin Kamara scoring a touchdown. I got, and here he's replacing the guy that I had in my 6 for 6 pretty much every week until he got hurt. James Conner. I got Imari DeMarcado. Hopefully I said that
Okay.
right. If I didn't, I apologize. Scoring for the Cardinals. I got Jameer Gibbs and Ramondre Stevenson scoring as well. So that is the 6 for 6. Now, this is probably the longest of long shots that we've done at 6 for 6. It's a 220 to 1 bet. So
Okay.
if we win, all right, pizza and wings on me. If we
Woo.
don't, well, we don't.
Then we don't.
So yeah. As far as football goes, that's all I got. Real quick update. Toronto Blue Jays are beating the New York Yankees in game one of the ALDS. In the bottom of the
What?
sixth, it is 2-1 Toronto. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is up to bat. He is already 2 for 2 with a home run. And let's see what happens real quick. Looks like
Dang.
they might get him out. Either way, last thing, and then I'm done, bro, unless you got something. The UFC tonight, I'm going to throw out my two picks for the co-main and the main event. For the co-main event, I say that Marab holds on to his bantamweight title. And for the main event, I say that Alex Pereira upsets and wins back his light heavyweight championship. So, for those of you that watch UFC, I could be wrong, but we'll find out. And that's it.
I don't know. I don't watch UFC much, so I wouldn't know.
Hey, that's all right. Other than that, bro, you got anything else?
Just excited for basketball to get started here soon. You got these
Oh,
preseason games going, and it's hard for me to get into preseason NBA. I can get into some preseason NFL, honestly, but preseason NBA I can't really. But I'm excited for the NBA getting ready to start soon. So I'll keep watching a little bit, paying attention to the headlines, making sure my team's healthy, and just see what's going on around the league. But can't wait for the season to start.
yeah, I'm excited too. Obviously, Celtics are an unknown right now. We'll see. Jason Tatum sounds like he is determined to make it back at some point later this season. we'll see if that comes true or not, and if so, are the Celtics in the hunt for the playoffs, or are they not? And do they shut them down? We'll see. I think that they'll be in the hunt for the playoffs because they're in the East. I think Jaylen Brown has a phenomenal season, and obviously we'll talk more about that as we get closer to basketball season. But
Yeah.
here's one thing that I think is funny. I want to just point this out really quick. LeBron James, obviously it's preseason, so it doesn't really matter. But I think this is funny. LeBron James sat out the Lakers preseason game due to some type of glute injury. So I just think it's funny that it's preseason and LeBron's already butthurt.
Yeah. That
Ah,
was funny.
shit's hilarious. All right. Well, that's all we got, folks. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, family, whoever you can. We would certainly appreciate it. And I'm going to leave you with these last two thoughts. Division is a math problem. It should never be a people problem. And be kind. It is free unless you're talking to Cowboys fans. Peace.